Okay, okay. I know it's been a little bit, it's been a minute, but I mentioned before things have been a little cattywampus, but your boy Scoot in the Bank is here to talk about NXT Gold Rush, and we're gonna do it as one big special. We talking about both night one and night two. But first, intro.
T.A.G.
That's tag shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really want.
Like I mentioned before, it's your boy ScooterRay, aka Scoot in the Bank. More on that potentially later. But yeah, I'm here to discuss NXT Gold Rush. And whether you been here, whether you new here, quick tag is usually myself going over Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, whatever I can watch. And for the past 2 weeks, NXT had their theme shows, Gold Rush 1 and 2, and basically it's their version of Night of Champions. So in the process of both of these nights, every title in NXT was being defended. And night one, which was last week, it kicked off with this match for the North American Championship. We had, of course, Lord, I didn't put it in the wrong spot. But we had Champ Wesley versus, hold on 1 second. We had Champ Wesley versus Tyler Bate with Mustafa Ali as special guest referee. Bars. So the story around this is, how to explain it? Because it's so Mustafa showed back up in NXT, you know, him being a free agent and all. So he shows back up in NXT and he immediately kind of put himself in the mix dealing with the North American Championship situation. So and it's happening in the background. So, but yeah, he kind of just threw himself in the mix and it was like, all right, cool, I guess. And, you know, he making his intentions known that he wants gold. But he was like, the culture needs you versus Bate one-on-one. And not only does the culture need you versus Bate one-on-one, your boy can be special guest referee. And they was kind of like, all right, cool. You know, why not? Let's see what happens. You know how sometimes you play them old school WWE games, old school SmackDowns and things like that, and you be the special ref, and you can like do all type of shenanigans. You know, you can fast count, you can slow count, you could if you're trying to do count out, you can 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, all that type of stuff. You can not pay attention to submissions. This is what Ali was living at. He was living at his old school WWE, WWF video game days. Because at times he was fast counting, at times he was slow counting. You know, he was doing a bunch of shenanigans. But he was doing the guise of, oh, I'm being cheeky, you know, type of thing. And ultimately, I don't know if the way they wanted it to end panned out, but he was supposed, so he went out the ring and was kind of slapping around to wake up Wesley to get him to kind of react and whatever. Then he went back in the ring to kind of do the same to Bate. And then it led to, I guess, him picking up Bate. And in the process of him doing that, Wes was setting up for that beautiful cardiac kick. And blah, the cardiac kid retains 1, 2, 3. So of course, both of them was kind of looking at bait like bait. Both of them was looking at Mustafa like, we don't know about you, my G. We don't know. You're a little shifty, but I guess. But yeah, still your North American champ, the cardiac kid, Wesley. At this point, I don't know who's gonna take that belt up off of him, fam. It wouldn't surprise me it wouldn't surprise me that they mess around and let Mustafa do it at this point, because I couldn't see who. So it would not surprise me if Mustafa ended up taking that belt up off of him. Next up, Chase, you threw a pep rally for Thea Hale because, you know, she was going against Tiffany Stratton for the women's championship. And, you know, they was basically trying to hype her up, you know, her being 19. It sounds so weird that they was like, yeah, just a year ago, my biggest accomplishment was graduating high school and da, da, da. And it was like, that just sounds so weird. But basically they saying, you know, she was going to become the youngest NXT champion. I think the youngest champion period, damn near. Because I think she would have had Pete Dunne beat. Yeah, because I think she's a younger 19 than what Pete Dunne was. Or was it Tyler Bate? Whoever was the youngest champion. I think that they was gonna say it was gonna be her now. But yeah, then of course, you know, the special trainers, Dempsey and Gulak came out and they was all like, we don't even know if you ready yet, you know, blah 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 blah. And Duke was like, chill. This is to hype her up. Why are y'all trying to bring her down? Let her inspire her. Let her believe and give her the battery in her back so she could defeat Stratton. But you know, Stratton came out there and Stratton let her know, you ain't on my level, girl. I'm the champion for a reason. Tiffany Stratton. You ain't taking this belt off me, little girl. Fuck you thought. Yeah. Next up, there was a segment with Schism. Schism has been going through some pains as of late because everybody in Schism seems to be winning except for Gacy. And even when they team up with Gacy, you know, so the Dyad, formerly Grizzled Young Vets, Jagger and Fowler, they were like, oh, my G, what's going on? We winning, you ain't. You kind of bringing down the group. And, you know, Gacy talks in his apocalyptic ways. So more on that when I get to part 2. Diamond Mine had a segment, and I think their segment was basically them reacting to what was going on with Schism, since they've been having issues with Schism. In the week prior, they lost a 6-person tag to Schism, which Dyad and Ava Rain beat the Creeds and Nile. So yeah. Next up, we had a triple threat tag team match to determine who was going to face Gallus on night 2. You had Briggs and Jensen, you know, former NXT UK tag champs, versus Blade and Enofe versus Hank and Tank. Now, the story surrounding all of this was, of course, Briggs and Jensen were former people who went against it. Well, former, I guess, I don't ever want to say enemies, but when they fought against each other, they realized that they were better together. They inspired Hank Walker and Tank Ledger to do it. They became better. Then those 4 inspired Malik Blade and Idris and Nofe to do it, and they became better. So the week prior, after Blade and Enofe had their match, and they seemed like they bonded over beating up each other, that's when Booker announced that they was going to have a triple threat to determine who was going to be number one contender. And here's the match. Pretty solid match, pretty decent match. I didn't know where it was going to go, in all honesty. I didn't know where it was going to go, but ultimately, Blade and Enofe took the dub here. They took the dub, and they'll be fighting Gallus in night 2. And yeah. Next up, Dana Brooke, Cora Jade. Oh, no, sorry. Seth Rollins had a vignette because, Seth Rollins was defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Bron. He got that dog in him breaker. And Rollins ran into Nathan Frazer. And Nathan was like, my mentor, I'm happy you here. At least I can say thank you. Seth was like, that's a hell of a cup you have to carry around with the NXT Heritage Championship. And then from that, he ran into the Trick Mello gang, NXT champ, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And they shared like some positive things with each other. And, Mello was staring at the championship like, and Seth was like, hey, you're your own champ. You gotta take care of your title too, champ. And and to spin off from that. Well, actually, I'll spin off from that when we get to the main. But yeah, so it was good to see the first NXT champ share some words with the current NXT champ. And then we get Dana Brooke, Cora Jade. They've been having a grudge. They've been having a little beef with each other ever since Dana decided to come back to NXT. Cora is like the resident mean girl. This is Generation Jade. And, she ain't got time for these past NXT peoples. So midway through the match, Dana Brooke was trying to do like her handspring elbow and her knee buckle. Now, I don't know if she was like a true legit injury, but during the commercial break and everything, they had the whole stretcher coming out and this, that, and the third. And then eventually, I guess Dana was like, I'm sick of this shit and I'm sick of you, Cora. And they started fighting. And the match went back. Ultimately, Cora Jade wins. Yeah. Carmelo Hayes, Baron Corbin had a face-to-face. They was trading bars with each other. Now, I think Carmelo's digs were stronger than Corbin's, but Corbin did get the last word. So, but basically Corbin is like, look, I'm that dude. This is the house I built. I helped build. You in it. I got money. I got riches. I really just want to take that championship off of you because I know I can. And like I said, Carmelo was getting his shots in too. But like I said, I think Carmelo's shots was more hard hitting than Corbin's. But once again, Corbin did get the last word. We get Valentina Flores, Yulissa Leon versus Meta Fours, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. And if you didn't know, Meta 4, METAFOUR, Meta 4, is the newly formed stable between Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, Noam Dar, and Oro Mensa. This match is a result because Leon and Feroz is friends with Frazer and Dragon Lee. And, the whole Nathan Frazer taking the Heritage Cup from Noam Dar because Noam Dar is injured, apparently. And Oro Mensa had to take his place to defend the Heritage Cup. And, Nathan Frazer won. But this match is a result of that. Jackson and Legend work well together. And this stable is not a bad stable. I just wish Noam still had the Heritage Cup because that's what made the stable work more, because it was built around the fact that Noam was the Heritage Cup winner, and they helped him, keep it at Battleground when, they screwed over Dragon Lee. So I wish he was still champ, so that way the stable would have, but like I said, I think the stable can still work. I think it can still work. But yeah, Jackson and Legend on a bad tag team. Of course, they're still like anything, still gotta work at the little kinks, but I see it working for them. Now, do I see it working for them as in them potentially beating Ronda and Shayna? No, because we know how they book Ronda Rousey. So. But yeah, main event time for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins returning to NXT, going against Bron. I got that dog in me. Breaker. I will say this. And once again, if you're new here or if you've been here, this did not feel like a title change match. But what this really was, if you read in between lines, this was Braun Breaker's tryout match. And he did not disappoint. Braun and Seth had a match. They had a duel, a Donnybrook, a falling out. Furniture was moving. Them boys, they wrestled. And this was a great tryout match to let them know that Braun can move up. I don't know why they didn't move him up in the draft, because technically he's kind of just lingering. But yeah, Braun proved that he can go. Is he 100% main roster ready? I think when they truly figure out what they want his character to be, because he can't necessarily transfer I'm the angry NXT guy to the main roster, because then it's going to be like, you just got here. Why are you so upset? So they got to figure out what he's going to be first and then tweak it from there. But from what he showed, because don't forget, he won his NXT championship from Dolph Ziggler back on Raw. So he's been on Raw, and for him to have this major match on NXT with Seth, and Seth is like wildfire right now. Like, damn near the whole match, they sung his song, other than, the times when they was booing and cheering, but Seth was serenaded. You could tell that NXT crowd was genuinely appreciative of the fact Seth freaking Rollins is right here wrestling for us with his title on the line. And then to even give Braun the even more respect, Seth had to hit him twice in a row with the stomps to let him know that I couldn't just put him out with a pedigree and a stomp. Nah. He has to get stomped out twice. But yeah, Seth retains. Braun looked amazing, because that's how I looked at it as. I looked at it as a tryout match. I looked at it as, is he ready for the main roster match? And I 100% think so. I don't know whether it's going to be SmackDown or Raw, but I see it. After the match, Finn was sitting in the crowd and started attacking Seth Rollins, because Finn, if you didn't know, is going against Seth Rollins Saturday at Money in the Bank, and he was running that smoke on Seth until the Trick Mello gang came out and saved him. And that's why I said the fallout. The fallout from that was this past Monday, Carmelo was sitting in the crowd because Seth invited him there. Balor tried to attack Seth again, and Melo stopped it by taking a chair from Balor, and from that, Balor challenged Melo to a match on Raw, and just like his predecessor, Melo looks good. Melo looks main roster ready. I mean, unfortunately, yes, he was going to lose the Finn, but main roster ready. The character he is now transferred. Now, do they also bring Trick Williams with him, or do they just let Melo go by himself? Honestly, I think Trick should go with him. They're a package deal. They are pretty great together on the mic and everything. So I feel that they're a package deal. But you know, the WWE high-ups might think differently. But yeah, night one of Gold Rush, and let's rush into funds. I got them. Into night twos. Kick off with that NXT Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale. Remember that I mentioned about 15 minutes ago, Stratton was like, look at Thea, you ain't on my level. And this was a pretty solid match. This was pretty much Thea Hale showcase match because we don't see much of Thea Hale wrestling on NXT. Maybe she wrestles on Level Up, which unfortunately I don't watch Level Up. Maybe she might have, wrestled a lot of matches there, but she put on a good showing. And like I said y'all before, championship matches didn't feel like title changes. So you knew Tiffany's reign was too soon. Like Tiffany just became champ. And this was her first defense? Is this her first or second defense? And I didn't think they were about to put the strap on Hale. At some point, Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak comes out there. They try to cheat for it. Duke is kind of like, what y'all doing? Let her cook. She's doing fine. Like, chill that fuck out. And then eventually it led to Tiffany getting the dub. And then it led to Thea Hale kind of looking like, yo. Then it led to Duke. Like, yo. And then they started jumping on Duke. Dempsey and Gulak started jumping on Duke. And then that music hit. And then finally, returning from his injury, the man himself, who the university is named after, Andre Chase, shows up for the save. And the crowd went dumb. Hey, however how you feel about Chase U, into that NXT audience, Chase U is over. You over like Rover. He makes the save, and even Duke kind of looks like, Chase? Andre Chase? Mr. Chase, is that you? Now, I wonder, did they pivot from the fact that it seemed like Duke was trying to take Chase U? Because it seemed like at first, Duke was trying to take Chase U, but then when Gulak and Dempsey kind of became unofficial and official instructors, it kind of pivot. So I wonder, is that going to come back up of Duke trying to take Chase U away from Andre? So we shall see. But Andre Chase is back. He is back. But yeah, he looked pretty good in this match. You could tell. I mean, she's 19. She needs more seasoning. She needs more time. She needs more of that experience. She needs more experience points. So like I just said, minutes back, they mentioned it again. Night two. Last year, she had just graduated high school. That just sounds so wild. Saying it again. But yeah, do I think that Thea Hale can be women's champion at some point? Yeah, I absolutely can. I don't know if it's going to be under the banner under the guise of Chase U, but I can see it. But yeah, Stratton's retains. Interesting to see who's their next challenger, because most likely she probably won't defend the belt again until the July 31st show, which I totally just slipped my mind of what was the name of that show, just that fast. I think it's Great American Bash. So yeah. Oh, gotta give me a second because I have to know now. I have to know, otherwise it's gonna bother me. NXT next PLE. It is Great American Bash, July 30th. So most likely she probably won't defend the belt again until the Great American Bash. Next up, Tag Team Championship. The Gallus Boys, Wolfgang and Mark Coffey versus Malik Blade and Idris and Nofe. Like I mentioned earlier, Blade and Nofe won the right because they won that triple threat. And you know what was weird? This felt like the title could have changed. At certain parts, it felt like, because we had the whole thing with Stacks. Since you know Stacks has been beefing with Gallus, it was like, because I thought Stacks was going to be the X factor in Blade and No Fake winning, but it was the opposite. Stacks unintentionally caused Gallus to win. And from that, there was a segment. Oh, sorry. Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo has came back to NXT, and they was looking over the match. So maybe they might be next up to be tag champs, because it was looking like Stacks and Tony D was next up, but per the segment they showed, because Stacks has been visiting Tony D in jail, but this time it was Joe Coffey who visited Tony D, and Tony D was like, "You got some balls to show up here, my G," and he was like, "Look, it ain't what you thinking, how you thinking this is, my G. What you thinking, your boy Stacks ain't what he cracking up to be." And he even played him a recording because the week prior, Stacks kidnaps Joe Coffey, and Stacks was telling Joe, "I need you to lay low for a week because of reasons, and I'm tired of being the underboss," and da 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 da. And it was like, the plot thickens. But yeah, so we'll see where this goes, and it's a possibility that we might be breaking up Tony D and Stacks. Or maybe this could all be one big ploy. We don't know. We got to watch it unfold as the world turns. I'm gonna do a full rotation if that's stop me. So next up, Heritage Cup Championship. Champ Nathan Frazer he had Ulysses Leon in his corner, and Dragon Lee had Valentina Feroz in his corner. I feel like it's reversed. But Heritage Cup Championship. The Heritage Cup is similar to the NXT to ROH's Pure Championship. The difference is Heritage Cup, you get 6 3-minute rounds. Disqualification and knockouts automatically ends. The first person with 2 victories gets the dub. And if it goes all 6, then I think it's like a judge type situation. Pretty solid match, but Nathan just won it. And the way they showing Axiom is still drawn to the Heritage Cup. So we'll see what happens with that. But Nathan Frazer gets the dub. Him and Dragon Lee, hug it out. This, that, and the third. What they doing with Dragon Lee? Dragon Lee has damn near lost every match he has been in. Yeah, I think Dragon Lee, he has lost the Heritage Cup Championship match twice. The NXT North American Championship. And that Fatal 5-Way. I know he lost to JD Madonna before Madonna left. What's up? What they doing with Dragon Lee? Like, it ain't looking good for how they doing Dragon Lee. I'm just saying. Get it together. Metaphor had a segment, and them just talking. They're really letting you know about them being the new stable around. Schism had a segment in the ring where the dyad was trying to go at Joe about what's up with you, Gacy? Like, you promised us all these things when we decided to join you, and nothing's happening, my G. And Ava, of course, is on Joe's side. Like, how dare you? Dare you speak to Gacy like this? And and then from that, the Creeds come out, and actually, Diamond Mine comes out and was like, And then it led to a match being announced. The Creed Bros versus the Dyad. And Joe Gacy was like, nah, we got to up this because we got to let you know how serial this is. Losing team leaves NXT. And the Dyad looking like, hey, yo, say fam, we didn't agree to that. And even the Creeds was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. Now, I wonder, is this playing into the aspect of the dyad asking for their release? So I guess we shall see next week. Trick Mello was in the back talking about, the upcoming match that Mello has against Baron Corbin. In steps World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, telling of course the crowd going dumb, telling Mello, hey, you stepping in Judgment Day business, my boy. So you need to chill out. You need to stay in your lane. Wow. Okay, it was a bunch of segments before the next match. Grudge match, Kiana James, Gigi Dolan. Funny enough, it still plays into the Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. The only difference is, of course, Gigi and JC wasn't a tag team, but it's still the notion of you're the outcast. You're never going to be anything. Why are you trying to be something you're not, type of thing, and blah, blah, blah. Due to some chicanery, of course, Kiana gets the dub, and she takes it a step further. She had 2 cans of paint, one orange and one blue, if I remember correctly, and she pours it all over Gigi in the ring, and it was like, damn. So I guess we'll see where that goes. We also got a training montage of Gable Steveson training Eddie Thorpe, since Thorpe and Damon Kemp supposed to have the NXT Underground. Yeah, they resurrecting Raw Underground for NXT next week. And they even showed the vignette and segment. And boy, them been getting segments made Raw Underground look like it was lit. For those who know, no. Raw Underground was an experiment. Let's just say that. It was an experiment. Yeah. And I love the little shots that Gable was like, yeah, I hope Damon's parents are in attendance. And I know Damon pretty well because, Damon Kemp and Gable Stevenson are brothers. So I like those little moments. But yeah, trying to think, was there anything else to note? Roxanne Perez got a lick back on Blair Davenport. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they announced it for next week that they're going to have a match, but it's going to come Blair and Perez. Anything else? Main event time. NXT champ. Carmelo, I'm him, Hayes, ready to put another face on the t-shirt, ready to put another name in the rafters. Defending his NXT championship against the lone wolf, Baron Corbin. No longer happy Corbin, no longer bum-ass Corbin, no longer King Corbin. He's back to the lone wolf. He even broke out one of his old t-shirts, gear and everything. Went back to his old music. So he's back to the lone wolf. At least I hope so, because I hope this wasn't a one-off that he did for NXT, because then I'm going to be mad, because I enjoyed when he was the lone wolf more than all this other shenanigans he's been doing. But good match. Once again, it didn't seem like a title was going to change. Even though they gave you some moments where it looked like, wait. But ultimately, Carmelo does get the dub because, when Carmelo shoots, he don't miss. But he retains. Interesting to see who's his next challenger going to be, because I wonder, is there anything going to come up this Judgment Day thing? Like, was that it with the whole Judgment Day thing? Something else can play into it, because they have a good month to determine who Melo gonna go against at Great American Bash. So maybe we can run back Finn and Melo for the NXT championship. Maybe somebody else might prove to be the challenger. There was some Von Wagner segments thrown in there. Robert Stone has been trying to get Von to open up more. There's been segments thrown in there. And the show ended with Braun Breaker angrily coming out of Shawn Michaels' office, and he was like, well, you'll just find out next week why I'm so upset. Ooh, show ends. So yeah, NXT Gold Rush, night 1 and 2. Wrapped up in a 40-minute package for you. It was solid matches. The only thing was, once again, it didn't seem like titles were going to change like that. So yeah. But they were pretty solid matches. I mean, night 1, it was good to see Seth freaking Rollins back on NXT, because it's been such a long time. I think since he left it. Ooh, child. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, subscribe, share, comment, subscribe. And after you subscribe, you got to tag that notification bell. See, Hans, I got that. To let you know when we got videos. And whether you've been here, whether you're new here, if you enjoyed your stay, thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. We're going to have videos for you. It's just, we got to figure things out with schedules, People got to work, unfortunately, right? But yeah, Tune in next time. Whether it's a quick tag, hot tag, a tag me in, dizzle moment, anything like that. But my name derives from Saturday, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, where your boy is looking to reclaim that predictions championship when I go 1-on-1 with Lip Dizzle to determine who is the champ. Mm, 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 mm. But thank y'all for tuning in. And once again, we sign off these videos with the greatest hand gesture or the second greatest, depending on which generation you grew up in professional wrestling, because it's either gonna be too sweet or the suck. But we ain't gonna tell nobody to suck. But yeah, until next time, good people. Thank you for tuning in, and do not forget to tag out. Peace.